Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Saturday's training call. We're going to be covering a great topic today, which is about the leadership points and the importance of those and how you can use them as an important part of building your business. So Ray's going to be going in that in detail. So I'll introduce Ray now. For those of you that don't know Ray, Ray Sinclair is a remarkable individual. He's both successful in both network marketing and traditional business. He runs a very successful software company, and he's been in network marketing for around 37 years. He's been the #1 income earner with 3 businesses during that time, and is currently a #1 income earner with another company. He obviously has been pitched over many things over the years. Not interested, he's very happy with his other business, but when he saw CashFX, he saw straight away the amazing potential and jumped in. And remarkably, and to his credit, he did not bring anyone from his other business across. He wanted to just keep that going, keep that protected. So he's not introduced a single person over there, and he's effectively started with CashFX from scratch, exactly where a lot of people start when they first start their network marketing business. And anyone that knows Ray, he's an absolute machine. He's on it, just constant activity. He is literally about to go director after 5.5 months of being with the business. Remember, this is from a standing start without bringing in another team. And he estimates that he's going to hit the 100K pack in just 7 months. So he's a shining example of what's possible if you really go to work with CashFX. So without further ado, I'll pass you over to Ray because he's got some very valuable information to share with you today.
Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that very auspicious introduction. Very kind of you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you are in the world. We enjoy giving these Saturday presentations, these Saturday trainings to hopefully help you build your CashFX business. And we try and bring you information that is both relevant and useful to you. And a lot of the times I base the trainings on feedback that I get from my team and questions that I get asked. And today what I want to cover is leadership points, because I get a lot of questions about leadership points, but I also understand through talking to not only my team, but people in other teams, that there are a lot of people in CashFX who don't understand the leadership points or how they work or how to use them for the benefit of their business. So I'm going to come at this at a slight angle, but I want you to just bear with me because you'll get where I'm going eventually. And you know, the important I'm going to give at the front, the information I'm going to give at the front is important. So it's important to know that most people who join a business like CashFX join because they see this kind of business as a way to solve an immediate problem. And that immediate problem that they have is lack of money. Okay. They can find the money to join the business, but they view it as a life raft, as a way to get money quickly, because they're in negative cash flow in their lives. And Richard always says, time and time again, you have to treat CashFX like a business. It is a business. And because people don't approach a business like ours as a proper business, they never adopt a business mentality towards that. So most times they live in hope. I hear this a lot in my team and in other teams. You know, people say, I hope I can achieve this. I hope I can make money. I hope I can get to executive. I hope this, I hope that. One of the things that you'll never hear leaders say is, I hope. What leaders say is, I am planning to. I'm making a plan to. I will. They don't say, I hope. Because if you're a leader and you're a business builder and you have a business mentality, you don't live in hope. You basically make plans and you execute plans. And that's why most people live in hope as opposed to working the business. So it's imperative that you treat your CashFX business as exactly that, a business. As Richard says, treat your CashFX business as a business. In other words, be business minded, make a business plan and stick to it. Now, when you run a normal business, such as I do, you need to consider many things. Things like money in, those are sales. money out, which is overheads and costs, profit and loss, are you making enough to survive? And the most important of these, cash flow. Can you survive and grow? And it's your cash flow that dictates whether you can do that, okay? So we have a saying in business, and if you've ever been in business, you'll hear this saying, cash flow is king. Cash flow is the oxygen that your business needs to breathe and survive. Above all else, cash flow is king. If you have no cash flow, you have no business. Cash flow is the inflow of money versus the outflow of money from your business. And looking at your future cash flow can predict whether or not your business will survive. There's many people now during the coronavirus thing, business owners are looking at their cash flow and wondering what the hell they're going to do, because they can see their business isn't going to survive. And there are two types of cash flow. There's positive cash flow, and that's where the future inflow of money is greater than the future outflow of money in your business. And there's negative cash flow, and that's where the future inflow is less than the future outflow. In other words, you've got more money going out than you've got coming in, whereas positive cash flow, you've got more money coming in than you've got going out. So just to give it a simple graph, if you've got more money coming in than going out, you're in a good position. You've got positive cash flow. If on the other hand, you've got more money going out than money coming in, you might be in a position a month or two down the road where you're broke, or you've got to go and borrow money from somebody to keep your business afloat. You never want to be in negative cash flow. The problem is many people live in negative cash flow. They live their daily lives in negative cash flow. So they treat their online business like a piggy bank and they keep raiding it. And what this does, it just creates more negative cash flow and they end up killing the golden goose. You know, Richard talks about killing the golden goose. We did a training, which is available in the OneDrive area a few weeks back, about how not to kill the golden goose. I'm not going to go into it here, but you end up creating negative cash flow, okay? And this is because money's a dog. Most people in this kind of business chase the money. And money's like a dog in as much as that, you know, if you play a game with your dog, the more you chase it, the more it'll run away from you. And then when it starts to raining and you want to go home, you start calling the dog and then you start chasing the dog again because you want to put the lead on it, but the dog thinks it's a game, it runs away from you, okay? And you're getting annoyed and frustrated and wet and cold, and the dog doesn't care because the dog thinks it's a game. The more you chase money, the more it will run away from you, okay? So business owners, they don't chase the money. Good business owners don't chase money. They're not focused on the money. The money's a byproduct of what we do here, okay? I'm going to come on to that in a bit. But business owners don't chase money. So the question is, if you're not supposed to focus on the money, then what are we supposed to focus on in our Cash FX business? Well, the answer to that question, drum roll please, is leadership points. The more points you have, the more money you have. The more points you have, the more money you will have, okay? Leadership points are the key to building a successful Cash FX business. Ask any leader in Cash FX what they spend most of their time looking at in the back office, and the answer will be the same across every leader. They spend most of their time looking at the leadership points. Points are the real money in Cash FX. The cash we earn is the byproduct of leadership points. Okay, remember I said the more leadership points you have, the more money you have, the more leadership points you have, the more money you will have. Points are the real currency in Cash FX. And so many people don't understand this when they have their Cash FX business, that points are the currency. Build points, focus on points. That will build your business. Ask any leader, myself, Richard, Hazel, Justin, Ron Pope, we all focus on points. So how do you earn points? Well, every time a pack is purchased or upgraded in your team, you will earn some points. The volume of points you earn is equal to 50% of the price of the pack or the upgrade. Okay. So for example, if somebody buys a new pack within your team for $300, you will get 150 points added to your points balance. If somebody upgrades from a $300 pack to a $500 pack, the price difference between $500 and $300 is what they'll pay. So therefore, the sale, if you like, is $200. Therefore, you'll earn 100 points because you get half of the sale value. Okay. So you get points on upgrades and points on pack purchases. Effectively, points on everything that happens in your business. So every time a pack is purchased or upgraded anywhere in your team, down all levels to infinity, you will earn some points. And these will be added to your leadership points balance. So here, for example, somebody in your team bought a 300 pack, you got 150 points. They introduced somebody at $500, you got 250 points. They introduced 3 people, you got a total of 37,500 points there. Then they introduce somebody at 500, you get 250 points. Everywhere a pack is purchased or upgraded in your business, no matter how far down, you will get the points. Okay. It's not like the Unilevel or the Matrix where it goes down to a certain number of levels. It's to infinity. Your whole organization, you earn points on. Okay. It's important to note that you do not earn points on your own pack purchase for the sake of leadership points. But you must have a minimum of 500 points for yourself. In other words, you must have a minimum $1,000 pack to start ascending up through the ranks. Okay. You don't earn points on your own pack purchases except your own personal points that qualify you for things. I'm not going to go into that here. So when we talk about points that are added, this is the same as cash inflow, if you like. Points inflow is almost like cash inflow. Okay. When points are added to your leadership points balance, these points will stay on that balance for 30 days and then will be deducted. So the points deducted is the outflow. Remember we saw the chart with the inflow and the outflow. Well, points added is inflow, points deducted is outflow. Okay. So for example, if somebody in your team bought a $1,000 pack, you would have earned 500 points. And let's say that was today, those points would be added today. What it means is also that on the 26th of October, those 500 points will be deducted. Okay. So points will get added today if you introduce, or somebody in your team introduces somebody at $1,000. But a month later, 30 days later, those points are going to drop off your points balance. So everything is calculated on a 30-day rolling period. So for example, if you introduce somebody on a $10,000 pack tomorrow, the 27th of September, 5,000 points will be added to your balance. On the 27th of October, those 5,000 points will drop off. And I'm going to show you a dramatic example of that later when I go into my live back office. So points equals cash flow. I want to embed this in your mind that your cash flow in CashFX is not the money, it's the points. The points is your cash flow. Treat the points in your CashFX business as the cash flow in your business. Don't focus on the money. CashFX generates, don't focus on that, because it's only the points that can predict the future income of your business. The money you earn is history. You've already earned that money. It can't predict your future income. Only the points can predict your future income in CashFX. So that's where your focus should be. That's why leaders like myself and Richard and other people are always looking at our points. It's where we spend most of our time. So let's just look at that graph again and look at it in terms of points and 30-day rolling periods. So a positive points cash flow is where somebody is continually team building, i.e. personally bringing people into their team and helping their team build people into their team, and where you're always adding more points than are being deducted. you will always be in a positive points cash flow situation. Okay. And again, I'm going to show you an example of that later. However, let's look at the horror story. If you make a good start in your Cash FX business and you start bringing people in, obviously your team building points are going to be greater than the points being deducted. But after 30 days, those points start being deducted. And if you stop being active and stop helping your team build and stop building yourself, there comes a point where some of those points will start to deduct, but you're not really adding more points on. So there'll be a crossover point where the points being deducted start to become greater than the points being added over that 30-day rolling period. And that's why some people notice that their points go down rather than go up. Well, the resolution to a points going down situation is team build. Okay. Build your business, because that will rectify that situation. It will. Trust me. I know that. Other people in my team know that because we've experienced it. So if you're in negative points cash flow, I'll give you an example of this. It's possible, for example, to reach the rank of executive. You need points to do that. Okay. And there have been people that have said to me, well, I've reached the rank of executive, but now I've noticed that I've fallen below the rank of executive. And I look at their points and I go, that's because you didn't keep building points to maintain your position. Okay. It's like any business. You've got to work a business every day. If you ignore your business and let it go to rack and ruin, it will die on the vine. It's the same here. You need to keep maintaining your business. And I always say to my team, I stress this, that the time to go to work the hardest is immediately after you've achieved a rank advancement. Because what most people do is they get to executive or manager and they go, oh, I can take it easy now. I've achieved the rank. But the critical time where you could drop below the rank is in the week or two after you've achieved it. So what I tend to do and what I train my team to do is to work harder in the 2 weeks after you've achieved a rank than in the 2 weeks before, because you want to keep the rank. So work harder. And my team do. And I'm sure that other people in the business do. So never want to be in a negative points cash flow situation. So tracking your points on a daily basis is the key to understanding where your Cash FX business is headed. Okay. It's absolutely the key to understanding. So that's kind of the intro to what I wanted to share with you today. And now what I want to do is I kind of just want to take you through it live, because if I tried to do this in slides, we'd be here for hours. Sometimes it's just better on these training calls to show you a live scenario. So I'm actually going to log into my back office now. All of you know that, all of you should know that there are two ways to access your leadership points. There's a little summary down the bottom here, okay, of where you are on the leadership point scale. And you can actually access the leadership points here, but you can also access it under networks and leadership program. So I'm going to go that route. Gets me to the same place. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the team point screen. This for me is the heartbeat of my business. Okay. This for me is where I spend most time. I know Richard looks at this a lot. I look at this a lot. And I'm just going to take you through this little panel here, because this is all I want to focus on today. And the first thing I want to draw to your attention is this link up here. How do leadership rank points work? Now, if you go and read that, there's a very, very, very detailed explanation of how the leadership rank points work in Cash FX. Okay. So this for me, guys and girls, is my cash flow forecast. You know, if you ask any person who's got a business, you know, how they plan and predict their business, they'll all tell you we have a cash flow forecast. For me, the points are the cash flow. Now, where I always start is on this right-hand side. And I've learned a little trick since I've been in Cash FX. And I've learned the trick that if this circle is green, completely closed and completely green, you're in a positive cash flow situation. Your points are in a positive upward trend. Okay. The minute you start to see a gap here and this coming down anti-clockwise, that means you're starting to get in trouble. So the trick and the mission is always to keep this going clockwise until it closes. And if you see a gap appear, then that's time to take some action. And you can use this board to decide what action it is you need to take in your business. Okay. But the first thing I want to tell you is that if you can keep this circle green and closed, you are in a very, very good position in terms of your points. Okay. Now, the next thing I always check is this button here, and it says check your last 30-day points. But before I go on to that, I just want to come over to this side of the panel. Okay. Now, this is really, really informative. And there's a little thing here which not many people notice, but I noticed it, and I'm going to bring it to your attention in a moment. So today, what happened this morning was that 30 days ago, I added 2,100 points to my leadership points total. That was myself and my team. Okay, points from myself and my team, 2,100 points went on the 26th of August. Today, the 26th of September, those 2,000 points dropped off my points total. So the system is telling me that in order to maintain, just to maintain my position, I need to recover those 2,100 points, okay, because they dropped off. As you can see today already, I have introduced, or my team and I have introduced 5,000 points today, okay? So I'm in a great position, and you'll notice that there's a green here, okay? Again, the same principle about this green circle operates on this green circle, that if this green circle is completely closed and tightened off, you're in a positive points cash flow situation. You're good, okay? Your business is looking bright. The future is bright, okay? The minute that there's a gap there is the minute you need to start looking at this and go, well, hang on, you know, I've got 2,100 points dropped off today, but I've only got 1,000 points produced. Okay, what can I do to fix that problem? Well, I can either go and introduce somebody, or I can help somebody else introduce somebody in my team to bring those points up, okay? So you get visual indicators. So the mission here is close the gap. The mission here is close the gap. The mission here is make this number always better than this number, okay? If this number is better than this number on a daily basis, your green circle will always be closed, and you'll be in a positive points cash flow situation. Now, as I said to you in the introduction, points predict the future, okay? So I can see that in August, I had 117,000 points in my team. But in September, I've already earned 249,800 points. If this figure was lower than this figure, there'd be a gap, a break in this purple circle, okay? So this is a percentage of points produced this month versus points produced last month. This is, okay, so if you click on these circles, it will tell you what they do. So if this was less than this, there'd be a gap here, okay? And there'd also be a gap in the blue circle, okay? So the mission is close all the gaps. In other words, make this figure greater than that figure, and make this figure greater than that figure, and always keep this circle closed, okay? Now, I'm going to show you something on my 30-day points. So today I needed 2,100 points. So if you check this button here, okay, I know I can see tomorrow that I'm going to lose 2,300 points. Oh, sorry, on the 28th, I'm going to lose 2,300 points. Okay. So all I've got to do to keep my cash flow points positive is earn more than that on the same day. Okay. And here I can see all the points that are coming off my business for the next 30 days. So this allows me to plan my activity. It allows me to plan my actions. It allows me to see the future cash flow of my business. So for example, here, I know that on the 8th of October, which happens to be my birthday, I'm going to lose 11,150 points because on the 8th of September, I had a good day. Okay. So what I need to do between now and then is make sure that I've earned more points than this to compensate for that drop in points. Okay. And as you go along, and I said earlier, I'm going to show you a really, really outrageous example of a big points drop off. So the other day, somebody joined in the team for $100,000. Okay. So that one day added 50,000 points to my total. So I know that on the 19th of October, 50,000 points are going to drop off my total. Okay. So what can I do about that? Well, knowing that that is coming on the 19th of October, I am going to work like fury to build the points way beyond that 50,000 points that I need to maintain the 250,000 points for director. So if I come back out of this for a minute, you'll see that I've got 273,000 points. I only need 250,000 points to maintain a director position. Okay. So if that 50,000 came off this points balance today, I'd drop below the requirement for director. So what I need to do, knowing that this is coming on the 19th of October, because I got them on the 19th of September, what I need to do is I need to make sure that by the 19th of October, I've got over 300,000 points, so that when those 50,000 points come off, I've still got 250,000 points. So now you begin to see how I and other leaders like Richard and Justin and Ron and everyone else and Hazen, how we use the leadership points panel to effectively plan ahead. Okay. I know that there's some chunky points coming off: 7,000, 13,000, 12,000, 50,000, 16,000, 26,000. Now that may look like a horror story to you. Doesn't to me. It just means I've got to go to work and help myself and my team build more points than are coming off. And it's exactly the same in business. If you want to maintain your business, you need to bring in sales. If you're selling a product and you want your business to keep going, you need to sell more product, make more sales. And it's exactly the same here. This helps me predict that I've got to make more sales. I've got to help my team make more sales. How do we do that? Well, we grow a business. We introduce people, we get them on a pack, we help people upgrade, and we compensate this out. Okay. So far, I've been very, very lucky. I have achieved the rank of executive, and I dropped below the rank for 2 days, but I rectified the problem and I got back up, and I've never dropped since. And then I became a manager, and I've maintained the rank of manager. I've never dropped below the rank of manager. And now you only need 75,000 points for manager. And now I've got 273,000 points. So I'm now in the position where I've got enough points for director. I just need another manager in my team somewhere in a leg, which I'm minutes away from. But I now know what I've got to do to maintain it, because I can plan ahead using this. This tells me everything I need to know about what's coming up in the future. This is a crystal ball. This helps me predict the future. So that's why that's so important. Now, the one thing that I was going to mention earlier was this. Some of you may notice, excuse me, I'm going to just adjust my mouse. Some of you may notice that this looks like a target. And I don't think that's an accident. I think it's a target for obvious reasons. Okay? Because if your target looks like this and it's got no breaks in it, you're on target. You're on target to build a better business than the one that you've got today. This panel here is a perfect picture. This green circle is closed. This green circle is closed. The purple circle is closed. I've earned more points this month than last month. I've earned more points today than yesterday, than I need. This is a perfect future prediction for my business. And I will work every day to maintain this picture. So am I chasing the money? No. Am I chasing the points? Hell yes. I chase points in my business. I don't chase money. The money will come as a result of the points. The more points you build, the wealthier you'll become in Cash FX. The more you will ascend those leadership ranks. And don't forget, those leadership ranks produce bonuses. You don't get those through the money in your balance. The money that's sitting in your balance doesn't produce the leadership bonuses. The only thing that produces the leadership bonuses, ladies and gentlemen, is this: points. Okay? Most people are so focused on the money that they're missing the points. They're missing the value, the predictability, the planning capability, and the money that's in the points, which is why I said in my introduction that the points are the cash flow of your business. The points are the king in your business. And if you concentrate on the points and not the money, you will start to ascend those ranks very, very, very quickly, because you'll gain an understanding of what you need to do next, now, today, tomorrow, next week, to make sure you get to a rank and maintain it and pick up those bonuses. And those bonuses are lovely because they're exempt from the 20% success fee. So if you, for example, if you reach manager and you win the bonus of $7,500, you get paid $7,500. There's no, because that money is a personal bonus. It doesn't feed the matrix. Therefore, there's no 20%. So those bonuses are paid out in full to you. Okay. And I've been paid 2 of them, and Richard's been paid 4 of them, including, you know, a lovely new Porsche. So, but he didn't do that off the cash in his business. He didn't do that off his income. Richard achieved that beautiful car because he was watching this. He was planning with this. We had conversations before Richard went to director, and those conversations went along the line of what Richard needed in certain legs and certain points to achieve the rank of director. And he executed that plan beautifully, and that's why he's now a director. And that's why I will become, sorry, that's why he's a president, I apologize. That's why I'll become a director very shortly. And then I'm making a plan to go to President's Club. Am I looking at the cash in my balance to make that plan? No, I'm looking at the points in my business, okay? So interestingly, I also noticed that yesterday, my rank position in Cash FX was 71 yesterday. I noticed today that my rank position is 59, which is amazing, okay? And I can see that the lifetime turnover of my business now is about $1.2 million, because this is how you can calculate it. You just basically times this figure by 2, because the points are half of the pack, times that by 2, that's the cash value of your business in turnover. Okay, so about 1.2 million. And that's really all you need to know. The more time you spend here looking at these points, planning ahead, checking what your last 30-day rolling points looks like and what's coming up in the future, the more you do that, the better off you will be, the faster you will build a business, and the faster you will achieve the ranks in the business. So that's how you use this panel. To me, it's the most important screen in the whole back office of Cash FX. I can't stress enough how much time I'm spending here. Every morning when I get up, I don't go look at my cash balance. I don't go look at the size of my team. The first thing I do is I want to know how many points are coming off today, what I've got to do to rectify that issue. Okay. Nothing else matters to me. The points matter. So I hope that's giving you an understanding and an overview of that particular panel in your business. What I'm going to go do now is just quickly go back to my PowerPoint and give you guys a quick recap. So treat Cash FX as a business. Okay. Don't treat it as a piggy bank. Don't kill the golden goose. As I said there, don't have a piggy bank mentality. You look at any successful business person, what they did is they started a business, and then they didn't take all the cash out of the business because they understood cash flow. They understood they needed to plan for the future. Okay. Don't chase the money. The money won't build points. The money is history. Done. Finished. You've been paid. Okay. The points. Chase the points. How do you build points? Build a team. Okay. The points are the real cash flow in your business. And if you maintain positive cash flow at all times, you will be in a great position. You will be building a business heading towards those rank advancements and those leadership prizes and bonuses. Check your leadership points every day. Make that your first thing. Go, okay, I've got points coming off today. What have I got to do to fix that? That helps you to plan ahead. If you talk to any successful business person, the thing that they're doing all the time is they're planning. They're planning the future of the business. I'm going to round out with a very, very quick story of something that happened to me many years ago. I was fortunate enough to be in Japan. Many of you know that I play guitar, and I went to visit the guitar factory of Takamine Guitars, a very famous guitar manufacturer. And I was very fortunate to be shown around their wood yard. And the gentleman that was explaining the wood to me was showing me this wood, and he said, we're laying down this wood and we're going to be using this in 800 years' time. I nearly fell over. I said, let me get this right. You're planning the future of this business 800 years from now. He went, yeah, we are. That's why that company will be here in 800 years' time, because they're planning ahead. I hope you found that useful. I think that's all I have for you today. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to Richard for Richard to close out. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Ray. Brilliant training as always. Hope you guys found that really helpful. You know, it's something that, as Ray said, it's something that I've always done. I've always kept an eye on my points, what's happening with my business. You know, my focus is always 100% on just the business building activities, you know, helping the people in my business, you know, help them get to the ranks that they want to get to, you know, making sure that I'm doing the things that I need to be doing to make sure that my own points are there, etc. So it is a very important part of your business and something that's really good for you to actually understand. One thing I just want to just sort of finish off on, key thing about building the business, and you'll probably heard me talk about this again and again and again and again, is the fact that it's really important that you understand what you've got with CashFX. And I'll keep coming back to this until everyone really understands it. We've got something really, really special here with CashFX. And the reason that I know that is because we've done a lot of due diligence on the project. And we know certain things that are going to be happening. So in the next couple of months, we're going to be getting things like copy trading, the Academy program, which is going to be government accredited, etc. But the copy trading is one of the key things, because one of the things that often holds people back with CashFX is, you know, is the trading real? Now, we know it's real because the broker says it's real. And this is something I keep again coming back to, the fact that, you know, the broker is a multi-award winning, multi-regulated broker. They're sponsors of Sevilla Football Club, you know, which one just recently won the UEFA Cup. They're a very serious company with a lot to lose. So there is no way that they would recommend CashFX the way they are. And there's a couple of videos. I'm going to be sending out links to this. Some of you may have already seen these videos, but make sure that everyone in your team sees them as well. One of the videos was an interview with Pablo, who's the head of the Spanish desk of EverFX, where he talks about the relationship with CashFX and how excited he is and how special the trading that CashFX does. It's funny because I often hear people say to me, oh, well, it's impossible. They can't get those kinds of results. Yes, they can. And not only can they do that, that's what makes CashFX special. They are getting these results, consistently getting these results. And we haven't seen anything yet. When we get the EA switch back on again, the expert advisor, which is the algorithm they use to do most of the trading, we can see returns as high as 15%. So, for example, on a 100K pack, I'm currently earning between $4,000 and $5,000 a week, which is life-changing for most people. But when we get the EA switch back on again, we can see returns as high as $10,000 a week. Just imagine that. But anyway, this interview was fantastic with Pablo because, again, you can see how excited they are about CashFX. And again, guys, reiterating, the fact that the trading is real, the returns we are getting are real. We're going to be getting copy trading. Understand, when we get copy trading, my presentations are going to be 15 minutes long. I mean, what else do you need to know? Your money is in a regulated broker account. Pablo actually talks about this, the fact that your money's protected. Once it's in a regulated account, even if ever FX fails, doesn't matter. Your money's protected by the authorities. If Cash FX goes down, doesn't matter. Your money's with the regulated broker. So it doesn't get better than that with returns of 15% a week. Where else are you going to get that? Nowhere, absolutely nowhere. No upfront fees, no monthly fees. Just, it is going to be like shooting fish in the barrel when we're showing people the business, because all this stuff that I do on the due diligence is really not going to be necessary once people understand where their money is being held. So this is going to explode the business. Now, the other video that I'm going to send out the link to is an interview with Ron Pope. Now, again, Ron talks about his background. Ron is an incredibly successful guy. He set up an amazingly successful mortgage company that had $1 billion worth of mortgages on their books. And he sold out and retired, a very, very wealthy individual. But he got bored, so he decided to come back in. He became a consultant, a business consultant. He worked with governments, many companies around the world, Fortune 500 companies. He also worked with many network marketing companies and helped them reestablish themselves if they were going into trouble, this, that, and the other. He had no interest in going into another network marketing business until Cash FX came along. And he was so impressed with what he saw with Cash FX that he decided to join the business and put his own reputation on the line, but also his very well-established business, because he believes 100% in the business. And you'll see him talking about that. And again, how special the company is, what they're doing behind the scenes is off the charts incredible. And what you'll see is he comes back to this point that I've been reiterating again and again. There are going to be two people in Cash FX, two types of people. They're going to be the leaders that have done their due diligence and understand what that means and are going to work, working harder than they've worked in anything else. When I was in the corporate world as a sales director, I used to work very long hours compared to most people. I was in the office at 7. I used to leave, I don't know, 7, 8, sometimes 9 o'clock in the evenings. And if I was working on a big project, sometimes late into the morning, that kind of work was required to be successful in that arena. But that's nothing compared to the way I'm working now with Cash FX. Why? It's because I can make 100 times more money with Cash FX. And not only that, I only need to work for a short period of time, because after that, once your business is going, you don't have to work anymore. It's the whole essence of this business. It's a passive income that you are creating. Therefore, it is worth the effort putting in, to build the business. Now, again, Ron talks about this, the fact that, what we've got with Cash FX is off the charts. And those people that go to work now will position themselves ahead of what's going to happen. It's a very simple process. If you wait until we get the copy trading, that's fine, but you will be starting from scratch. If you go and build a team now, the bigger you build your team, the bigger the explosion of your income is going to be. It's simply because you've got more people introducing people. When we get copy trading, your grandmother will be able to introduce people to Cash FX. Someone turns around, they're not going to be able to turn around and say it's a Ponzi. You could say to them, well, yeah, Cash FX is the biggest Ponzi in the world. Still doesn't matter. Your money's with the broker. Wouldn't matter. Cash FX could run off. What are they running off with? There's no upfront, no monthly fees. So they're not getting you there. Your money's in a regulated broker account, can't be touched. You have access to that money 24/7. So, as I said, these people that are negatives and this, that will all be gone, because they can't say it's any of that, because your money's not with Cash FX, it's with a multi-award winning, multi-regulated broker. So these videos, the first one with Pablo is quite short. The second one with Ron is quite long, but I recommend you watch it right the way through, because you watch those videos, you will understand what you are involved in Cash FX. Cash FX is going to be huge, and you guys are in first. We are all in first. The people in the business that are working hard now and positioning themselves, getting themselves up to manager, getting up to director and above, are positioning themselves to make an absolute fortune. again, Ron talks about this. He said, you know, there are top income earners around the world. He said those income earners are going to be left behind by the top income earners with Cash FX. So, you know, just want to again reiterate, you are so in the right place at the right time. So guys, just, you know, take this and run with it. But I'll send out those links later on. Do watch those. And I know when you watch them, you're going to be very excited. So thanks again for listening in to today's training. And thanks, Ray, again, brilliant job as always. And enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll speak soon. Take care.